Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rahmi Hidayati. I'm the fourth presenter of Group 3. So here I would like to explain about alternative assessment method, a closer look at portfolio assessment. Have you ever made a portfolio before? I still remember when one of my teacher asked the student to make a portfolio, and then we had to be creative on the cover, and then my portfolio is yellow, so I have to draw on it, and then we have to collect our work in portfolio. So what portfolio is? So actually there are a lot of explanation about portfolio itself, but the most widely used is Paulson and Mayer definition in 1991. So a portfolio is a purposeful collection of students' work that exhibits the students' effort, progress, and achievement in one or more areas. The collection must include students' participation in selecting contents, the criteria for selection, the criteria for judging merit, and evidence of students' reflection. So, portfolio provide a site for collecting evidence of students' learning. When I was in senior high school, when I finished my task, I have to put it on my portfolio for my final assessment. Portfolio not only used in English language but also in the other subjects such as language art, music, math, and so on. Why? Because this is one of the best assessment tools for documenting a student's language development over time. Portfolio not only used for development in language skills such as reading, writing, speaking, and listening, but also in develop students' self-awareness, goal settings, responsibility for personal learning, and autonomy. So, what is the purpose of portfolio assessment? There are two purposes in creating portfolio assessment. The first one is for keeping track of what the students know and can do. So through the portfolio, we can know what material they have understood by the students, and then what material they can learn in the future. The second one is for evidence of ongoing learning growth or development over time. As I told you before, so this is collecting the evidence of learning, of students' learning. But in general, the portfolio assessment is useful for monitoring how students manage the task over time, reviewing students' development and performance, examining the nature of different tasks, assessing students' performance, and developing students' and teachers' insight. So the next is about the benefits and the challenges of portfolio assessment. As we know that each any kind of assessment has the benefits and the challenges itself. So what is the benefit and challenges of the portfolio assessment? So the first one is paper and binder or folder based portfolios can be bulky and difficult to manage. That is about the one who should keep the portfolio. But based on my experience when I was in senior school, the one who keep the portfolio is my teacher because I think it's more safely to keep the portfolio in school. The second one is the use of e-portfolios. As we know that the development of the technology in 21st century is very rapid, where in this era all the things have been facilitated by the presence of the technology. The e-portfolio are more convenient to use, easy to access, and then can use systematic and attractive format. The data can be easily updated and reviewed, but the teachers must train the students on how to use e-portfolio itself. And then the teachers might feel they need to work harder to use the approaches because the teachers need to actively support their students' understanding by giving them the explanation about the benefits to a student, so we can avoid the misunderstanding about the purpose of the portfolio itself. The last is the most challenging. The most challenging in a portfolio assessment is how to mark them. So, how can we avoid or minimize the challenging of the portfolio assessment? Is by make best planning for portfolio assessment itself. And we have to be considering the following questions such as what is the purpose of the course, who will be taking it, why are students taking this course, are there any constraints, what are my learning outcomes, what should I assess and evidence of learning, when and how often should I assess learning, when and how often should my students self-assess their learning, what are my guidelines or requirements for a portfolio, and then the last is how much value will I place on each requirement. So that's all my presentation about the alternative assessment method, a closer look at portfolio assessment. I hope you guys learn new things from me, and then I'm sorry because I have a lot of mistakes. Uh, Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.